Morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Rick Brown, Head Volleyball Coach. According to Rick, life has a lot of crazy opportunities, challenges, and big decisions that define who we are. It is what we do with each of those that determine our circumstances. Rick is from a small town, smaller than Lahana, but lived most of his life in the city. It's been a journey filled with a lot of unknowns and opportunities for growth. Please help me welcome Rick.
Thank you. Let me see if we can get this going. All right, so yes, I am Rick Brown. I am from a small town, Torrington, Wyoming. If any of you know where that is, if any of you know where Eastern Wyoming College is, that's where I grew up. So kind of a rival town, if you will. I've lived in all kinds of places, 6 different states: Arizona, Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, Montana, and Arkansas. Have just traveled around and have lots of different experiences. And as Sean said, you know, just different opportunities, trying new things, meeting new people, which has been kind of my favorite thing, and then just different work opportunities. I went to school at EWC. From there, I went down to NAU in Arizona, graduated with my information systems degree. And then I say Harvard only because I went to Harvard. I didn't go to school there, but I went there. Got off at Harvard Station, Harvard Yard on the subway, went in, went to the library, came back off. So I've been to Harvard. I've held several different types of jobs. Started off as a software developer for the state of Montana. Went into network administration at Eastern Wyoming. Took that down into Arizona when I took jobs down there. Became an IT consultant, a network engineer, which led me into sales, the dark world, I say, of IT sales. But it was a lot of different interesting experiences. Through IT sales, I was able to get into other things like real estate. So I owned real estate properties, managed those along with my IT career. And then we became franchise owners for an international frozen yogurt franchise. So lots of different experiences that way. And then I became a coach. So just life has lots of different paths that it takes you on. And I say, don't be afraid to try any of the paths. If you're out there with your mindset that you're only going to be doing certain things, you might miss out on other opportunities that life has for you. I have had the opportunity to travel domestically and internationally. I've been to, I think, 45 of the 50 states. And I think I've been to like 5 different countries, so have had a chance to see different what life's like in different countries, which is really amazing. As a hobby, I collect sports memorabilia, and through just life's experiences, I've had opportunities to meet lots of different sports figures, and so that's when I started collecting. And then why do I coach? Well, mostly because I like people. I think people are interesting, and I like to surround myself with people who can do amazing things. And the thing that I've learned as a coach is that people don't always know how amazing they can be. Like, they don't know what they can do. So I love it when I can start driving that out of them to get more and more out of the athletes that I work with. I was introduced to volleyball as a freshman in college. I was sitting in my English class, and one of my classmates said, "Hey, why don't you come to our volleyball game?" I'm like, "I've never been to a volleyball game." She's like, "Well, then come." So I went to the game, and after that, I became a line judge as a student, got paid a whole $5 a game, and then that was what I thought was going to be the end of volleyball. I went back to Eastern Wyoming as a network administrator in 1991, and the head coach came and talked to me and asked if I wanted to be an assistant coach. I was like, sure, why not? So I did that for 5 years, and in those 5 years, our teams qualified for the national tournament twice. We finished 5th one year and 7th the second time that we went. I've also coached youth hockey, both inline rollerblade and then ice hockey both, which is a lot of fun when you've got like little kids skating all around you, managing all those kids. It's a lot of fun. Several years later, fast forward, and my daughter asked me to take over her high school volleyball team. So I go back, and the game had changed, because when I started in '91, there was no such thing as a libero. There was no such thing as rally points. So the game had changed a little bit, so I had to like reacquaint myself with the game. But that was a really good experience, because I had kids that weren't good. They just flat out weren't good. And that's just because they had never learned the game. They weren't like today where you got club kids, where kids go to camps. They didn't have that. And so it was really teaching them the fundamentals of the game. The thing that was the advantage is that they were really, really smart kids, like super smart kids. And they had this thirst for learning, so they wanted to learn the game. So we started just teaching the fundamentals, how to play the game, how to pass, how to serve, all those different things. And then we advanced into like systems, which is what I enjoy, offensive and defensive systems. And so we got into those, and they just grasped a hold of them. And we weren't, like I said, we weren't very good at the beginning. We got better as the season went on. Our second year, we actually took second in the state. So those kids just like grasped it, and they just worked really hard. They did what we asked them to do, and they had success. From there, I went on to a bigger high school in Arizona. It was a 6A school, and I just looked at it as for more of a challenge, because I wanted to try to advance what my skill set was. So I was like, well, I'll go to a bigger school with more competition, and tried that out. And then from there, the opportunity to get back into collegiate coaching opened up. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna make the jump for that. It was right in the middle of COVID. So it was an interesting time to get back into coaching. So these are the different places that I've coached collegiately. Like I said, I started at Eastern Wyoming, and then headed to McCook in my second career. MSU, Texas, Midwestern State in Wichita Falls, Central Baptist College in Conway, Arkansas, and then obviously most recently here at Otero. So I'm supposed to talk a little bit about the passion, why I have a passion for what I do. So I just grabbed a definition, which is, I think, a pretty good definition. A strong feeling or enthusiasm, interest, or love for something. It can refer to intense emotions. I don't really have like intense emotions. Like if you see me on the sideline, I'm probably pretty just stoic. I don't like get really excited, don't really get down. So I try to stay kind of even keeled, or a deep commitment toward an activity. And that's what I'd say that I do have, is just a deep commitment to what I do with the program. Passion often drives individuals to invest time and energy, and I would even include money, in pursuits that bring them joy, fulfillment, or a sense of purpose. And I definitely do want to invest in what I do. We've been investing into the community with camps, obviously with clubs, and I just think that that's one way to grow the sport. So I like to surround myself, like I said, with people that are passionate about the game, about the sport, that they just have that love, and they want that success. So they're looking for like that next level. So I just grabbed a couple of people that I think would be pretty inspirational. The first is Bethany Hamilton. You probably all know who she is from her Soul Surfer movie. She's the surfer, the world-class surfer, who was attacked by a 14-foot tiger shark, lost her arm. But the thing that I love about her is that her spirit is, I'm not done. Like within 30 days, she's back out on the surfboard. She's back out on the water, and she's letting her love for her sport overcome her fear of what could happen again. So just the inspiration that she had. She's still surfing today. She has a family, she has a business, and she's still surfing professionally. So that's one thing. This next guy, Kyle Maynard. Kyle Maynard is amazing. Here's just a list of some of his accomplishments. champion wrestler, certified CrossFit instructor, MMA fighter, gym owner, mountaineer, and I would say a very skilled mountaineer, and a world record-setting weightlifter. So let's take a look at Kyle. Think of these accomplishments, now look at Kyle. He has no arms or legs. Okay, so when you're a kid born with no arms or legs, it would be super easy to just say, I have no self-worth. I can't do anything. And yet he goes out and he finds a way to accomplish all these amazing physical feats. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, which is like 18,000 feet, 2 feet at a time, right? So he's just pulling himself up 2 feet at a time. Anyway, you can just see that we can do a lot more than we think we can do. And for me, it's frustrating as a coach when I've got kids that have so much potential, they just don't believe in themselves. So that's one of my goals, is to like draw that out of them, so that it's like you can do a whole lot more than you think you can. So I try to give them examples like this of just amazing people. And then Cliff Young. Cliff Young is an Australian farmer. He grew up on a 2,000-acre potato farm, and they were so poor that they couldn't afford tractors. So they worked the farm by hand. They'd use horses, and everything else was just done by hand. He also had 2,000 head of sheep that he maintained, managed, watched over. And he had heard about a race. It was from Sydney, Australia to Melbourne, Australia, which was 544 miles. And he's like, why not? I'll give it a shot. He shows up the day of the race. He's down at the starting line, dressed like this. Well, he's not dressed like this, I'll show you. He's dressed like this. He's just in work pants, gum boots, all right? Shows up at the line that way. They get him his number, his bib number, and everybody's just like talking to him like, you're gonna really run this race? He's like, yeah, why not? And so he does this. Most of the racers are half his age. So he's there at 61, doesn't train for this thing, just decides he's gonna go do it. So he shows up and the race starts. So he's running in his gum boots and just falling further and further behind everybody. So at the end of the first day, like 24 hours, he's in last place, dead last, like by a long way. But he just keeps running because he doesn't know any better. While he's still running, the rest of the field is sleeping. So he doesn't know that it's time to take a break. He just keeps going because he's like, well, when I'm out there in the fields, I've got to manage my sheep all the time. So I'm just doing that nonstop. So he continues to run, and during the night, he passes several people. So the next day starts, day 2, and these runners find out that they're behind. So they come up, they're world class, and they pass him up, and they get to day 3. So now they're sleeping, and he still doesn't know any better. So he continues. He just continues running and passes those people up again. By the 4th day, he's now built a lead, insurmountable. He finishes the race in 5 days, which was 10 hours faster than the previous record. So he sets a new record. The first time he runs it, never stops. And it's just kind of that will that he had, that this is what I do every day. Just every day I'm out there running around chasing my sheep, working hard in the fields, and that's just his mentality, that I've just got to finish the race. So Cliff wins the $10,000 first place prize. He didn't know there was prize money either. So obviously at the end, he just decides, I'm going to split it with the other next five runners. So they all got money, even though he won the race. So people like that, you know, that have hard situations, are people that just kind of inspire me to just try to do my best with the girls that we've got and to just motivate them. This gal is more local, Lisette. She played at Otis, right? Everybody know Otis? Small town of like 500, 1A school, right? So Lisette played high school volleyball at Otis. She also ran track and played basketball, but volleyball was her favorite sport. She led her team to win the state championship in 2015, 2016. She just embodies life. Like, she's super excited about everything, like just full on energy. Like, you got to like tone her down. Anyway, I mean, you can kind of see just how she is when she gets excited. Lisette went on and got a scholarship to play at Eastern Wyoming College. She is so motivated. I'll tell you about when I work with her. So anyway, she played well enough at Eastern Wyoming that she got all conference honors as a freshman. After her freshman year, she transferred on to CSUP. She played there for her year, for her sophomore year. And then after that, she went on to MSU, Texas, which is where I met her. So this is her junior year. So I don't know all the girls on this team, but what I know about Lisette is that she had goals. I met her senior year, and she comes to me at the beginning of the season and says, "Coach, I want to play professionally." I'm looking at her. She's 5'10" and a middle, Division II. I'm like, "You're a little small, right, for that position?" But she's like, "I want to play professionally." So I'm like, "All right, how can I help you?" She goes, "Well, I need to find an agent." I was like, "All right." So I go, being the responsible person that I am, I go talk to our compliance officer and said, "Hey, what can I do to help Lisette?" He goes, "You can't do a thing until season's over." So I go back to Lisette and I said, "I can't really do anything until season's over." She's like, "All right, don't worry about it." Every single day, ready for practice, like when the nets are up, when it was time for practice to start, she's on the court ready to go. She's not messing around. She's not goofing around. She's just all business. She's not like mean, but she's all business. And she played every play super hard, super aggressive. So I was like, all right, maybe she's got some possibilities. So we went through the whole season. We get done, we're at senior day, the last home game of the season. And so I said, all right, well, let's go start looking for agents. She comes up, she goes, "Coach, I got an agent this fall. I'm going pro in the spring." So Lisette left Midwestern State and has been playing professional volleyball in Europe since then. So she's undersized, small town in Colorado. Not a lot of things stacked in her favor except her attitude and how she was driven to be the person that she became. So this is just one of the things that really says who Lisette is. Who are you when no one's watching? And she's the embodiment of somebody that wanted to be a professional athlete. And so she just lived that life. And that's like I guess the advice that I'd give kids, you know, when they say that they've got these goals, I'm like, well, then start being that person. If you want to be a Division I athlete, start living like a Division I athlete. Habits that you have here got you this far, but you're going to have different habits if you want to play at the next level. And so, you know, start developing those habits. So when I was at Eastern Wyoming, back in the 90s, I had the pleasure of working with this, at the time, young lady, Nikki Johnson. She was an outside hitter for us from Rawlins, Wyoming. And this was her freshman year. Her sophomore year was the second time that we went to nationals and finished 5th in the country. But the really cool thing was when I came back into my career recently, I had the opportunity to work with her daughter, Emma Cook. So for me as a coach, you know, kind of having the ability to just kind of see years and years and years go by and be able to have a mother and a daughter. I've worked with sisters, different types of relative situations. So just really fulfilling for me to have those types of opportunities. So that's why I coach, because of people like this. Thank you.